Hello. Sorry, we are late. We're like 12 minutes into time. So we have like 20 minutes to go. Very few, just 80 minutes to go. So today's webinar, we're going to look at just 4 assets, which is the first one I keep mentioning every day. We'll look at these 4. We have SP500, the first one, and then we also look at Microsoft shares, and then we look at Luke Oil. Then the next one is Gazprom. So Gazprom, there are 2. We have Gazprom NEF, and then the first one which I'm looking at now is just Gazprom. There's no NEF in it. Let me load the main chart so we are able to see that clearly. These are the charts we're going to look at. We'll start by first looking at SP500 and why I think that's the best place you're supposed to start buying. It's here. So just look at this from the longest time frame possible. If you can see it from 1975, you'll actually see that we've been actively to the upper side. But from what I have from my screen, let's minimize this first of all. We load MACD, we'll use MACD at least as a tool. This is why I'm saying this a buy. So from 2008 until now, February 2008, the price went down somehow from this point here. We have this level here, a very good place where price declined from. So the entire place, while price was heading downwards, we were doing nothing. We want price to proceed down, and then the moment when it gets back above 0.0, we pick a buy. So this was a good buy. If you bought it when this happened, you're supposed to remain in that trade until the time when price again goes below 0.0. This one here. This and this are retracement. Price continues up, and then there's a slight retracement. It continues higher. We continue upward from this was 2011 until 2015. We had this as a retracement, this is a second retracement, and then there's an impulsive move to the upper side. So if you compare the retracements on this chart with the main moves, the retracements are very small and predictable. Like this one, we have the first big one which we saw between 2008 and 2009, and then there's the next one here. This was 2010, and then there's also another one here, and this is 2011. Then price proceeded up. We also have this one, another retracement. There's also this as a very good retracement. So if you're just following this chart properly, like the chart where I am now, if you're following it properly, you will notice that anytime the price retraces, anytime there's a retracement, it's actually very small compared to the main move. The price retraces just slightly, and then there's a main move. There's a slight retracement, and then we see a very big move to the upper side. We also see the same slight retracement, and there's a very big move to the upper side. So our focus on this set is actually not this retracement, but how long the price remains above 0.0 in a particular trend. So in this case, the index is actively upwards, and so far for the past like 10 years we've only seen how many cases? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases where the price has retraced to the upper side. What that means is that the current move we are seeing to the upper side should push price even higher. We expect price to continue to the upper side. Therefore, on this one, as long as the column of MACD is above 0.00, we expect price to proceed upwards. So this is the main reason I'm saying this. You're supposed to look for a buy on this one. So far the retracements are predictable. Anytime there's a slight retracement, it is followed by a big move. A slight retracement, it is followed by a big move. A light retracement, it is followed by another major big move. You want to trade this correctly, wait for a retracement. That is, wait for the columns of MACD to appear below 0.0. Then in case they get back immediately, that's a good place to look for a trade from. So basically, we're not focusing on a sell. This is a retracement, and then just recently we had this as a retracement. We took buy from when this happened. We are still holding on to that trade. So even if I was to add an indicator, another one, another moving average, so even if I was to add an indicator on this one, another a moving average, that is, you can see that we are still actively to the upper side. The overall trend in this index is upwards. Therefore, I recommend you keep buying this one. This is the main reason I was saying this is a buy. Keep looking for buy positions. Anytime there's a retracement to the upper side or the price goes above a level, continue buying it even higher. So that's very simple. Wait for price to rise beyond this level. Wait for price to go above 29.24.5, then wait for a retracement before you pick a position to the upper side. The next one, the next symbol is this Microsoft shares. So this was a buy. I would recommend you look for a buy on this one, and the main reason is this. I have the chart here. We check it from the weekly point of view. So on this one, since this was 2015, we've only seen like 3 retracements. For the entire like 4 years, there are only 3 major retracements, and anytime the price retraces to the lower side, it means you're supposed to exit. We have this, the first one. This was the, sorry, this is the chart. This is the Microsoft shares. The first time there was a retracement was this, then price continued up. There's a second retracement, it continued even higher, and then there's a third retracement, and then there's this minor retracement here. So for the like 4 years now, there are only 3 main retracements, and the overall trend is actively to the upper side. Whoever bought it when this happened is in money. When price went above, the columns of MACD rose above 0.00, we actually took a buy from that point. So also this one is a very, very good place to buy from. It's a very good asset that if you can buy it, you are somehow advantaged. Add an indicator. Sorry, I'll add moving average. So it's not appearing well. So what this means is simple, that from when this happened, we've actually been upwards. From when the price actually rose above 0.00, we've been upwards. The best you're supposed to do now, wait for retracement, that is, wait for the columns of MACD to go below 00, then you pick a buy. Anytime the columns of MACD descend below 00, you look for a position to buy. On the daily, we have almost the same thing. So what I'm trying to say here is that this is still possibly upwards, especially on the weekly chart. That does not mean that it may not go down. It can still go down. But then if you look at it from the highest time frame possible, we are still somehow to the upper side. This is how it looks on the daily. We have this, a very fast retracement, and then there's the next one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one, and then this is also a retracement. So anytime price drops below 00, the columns of MACD go below 00, that's actually a retracement. We also have this as a retracement, these ones here. This was a very good retracement, and then we have this as a retracement. So in case price continues up and then declines below 00, then gets back immediately, that's the correct place to look for a buy from. So we've looked at 2. We have Microsoft, and then we also have SP5. These 2 are buys. You're supposed to be looking for buys. If you want to trade correctly, ensure that you're looking for a buy on Microsoft shares, and at the same time you're looking for a buy on SP500. The next one was Look Oil. Look Oil is here. So Look Oil also has the same setup. It has been upwards for some time now, and we still expect price to proceed even lower. Currently there's a retracement to the lower side, so don't confuse that with the fact that the overall trend is upwards. We have this here. I'm going to add an indicator. I'm going to add MACD first of all. Oh, sorry, somebody's asking how MACD works. I've already mentioned that at the beginning. We have the column, they are the columns. The green bars you're seeing are called columns. And then the red line, which is currently like a circle, this red line here is called the signal handle. So there's a line here at the middle. This line is 0, 0. So anytime we have the columns, which are these ones, above 0, 0, it means that the overall trend is upwards. And anytime we have the columns of MACD below 0, 0, the overall trend is down. So that's simply how to understand it. That's simply how MACD works. Anytime you have the columns of MACD above 0, 0, we are uptrend. And anytime you have the columns of MACD below 0, 0, we're in a downtrend. So as it is, you check it from the daily, from the weekly point of view, this is what we have. Sorry, I went slightly, but as I was saying, this is still a very, very good buy. We look at the retracements 2015 until now. Had this first retracement for the entire, like this was 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018. We are currently in 2019. So we are yet to see a retracement this year. If it can retrace, that is, if the bars of MACD can go below 0, 0, then we'll wait for price to retrace back to the upper side. We want them to start appearing on the upper side. That's on the weekly chart. Pick a buy from that point. As it is so far, for the past like 5 years, we've only seen 3 cases. We have this, we have this, and then there's the next one. If price can break below this level now, like if the columns of MACD can begin to appear below 0, 0, then that means that means we are currently retracing. So we wait for price for the columns again to start appearing above 0, 0, then we'll pick a buy from that point to the upper side. As it is, we are flat, but I recommend you wait for them to start appearing below 0, 0. Then if they appear again above, then we'll pick a buy from that point. You check this chart from the weekly. This is what we have. 200. So the trend is still actively upwards. As you can see, for the past like 3 years, we are actively to the upper side. There's a slight retracement, which was also there in the other indicator. We also had this, and then the next one. So we want price to show us the same thing. Now let price retrace here. First of all, pick a buy to the upper side. We move to the last one. The last asset was actually Gazprom. I'm referring to Gazprom, not Gazprom Nef. So this also upwards. I'll put that chart. Gazprom, the first one. This has also been upwards for some time, so we expect it to proceed higher. This is how it has been performing. So for some times from 2013 until around 2017, there was consolidation. Price was consolidated with no clear direction. We had this here, the lowest low which we saw during that time from 2012 until 2018. The highest high that we saw was this one. So this was the zone where we expected price to remain within. The fact that price went above it just recently is a very good sign that we are still continuing to the upside. So if you are trading it in between here and then somehow you are stopped out, you still have the place to buy from. You can still look for a buy on this one, just that you need to wait for price to trace slightly to the lower side, then pick a position. According to the MACD, the same thing. It may not necessarily apply the same way we are saying the other one, but the same principle still applies. So we had this as the first retracement. Price went up, it came down, then there's a second one, it's a third retracement, fourth, fifth one, sixth, seventh, and since then there's not been any clear retracement. So this is a sign that possibly we are still heading to the upper side. As long as the columns of MACD appear above 00, keep buying Gazprom. So you can buy this one on the futures market. Keep buying it. Keep buying it. Also, if you're doing spot market, you can still buy it, but you need to wait for retracements to the lower side. Expect price to pull back slightly to the lower side, then pick a buy when it is low. On the daily, is what we have. So on the daily, there are several retracements from 2017 until now. We've seen multiple retracements. We have this, but there's a major move. It's another retracement. Then we have a minor retracement, but it's always followed by a big move. So what that means from 2017 until now is that if, as we're speaking, the columns of MACD can begin to appear below 00, then that will be a retracement. We wait for price to again start showing us a buy, then we pick a buy from that point. So we've looked at the four we wanted to look at. We had SP500, which we've looked already why we think there's a buy. And I've mentioned that so far, since 2008 until now, we've only seen like 4 main retracements. Since 2009 until now, there have only been like 4 main retracements. We have this, then we treat this as a single retracement. Then just recently we had a retracement. So somebody who was trading this index ought to have bought when this happened. You're supposed to have been looking for a buy when this happened. You're supposed to have been looking for a buy exactly when this happened. You're supposed to look for a buy. The next one which you looked at was Microsoft, and the same thing applied. The same reasoning you used when we were talking about this one. We said that so far it has retraced just a few number of times. From this was 2009 until now, we've seen just very few retracements. If you compare the retracements with the main moves are many. So anytime the price is in an uptrend, it tends to hold for some times. And anytime it gets below, there's just a minor move, another minor move, and then there's a big move to the upper side. So that's what we are capitalizing on here. Anytime price goes below 00, the columns of MACD are below 00, then that's just a retracement. We expect price to proceed on the upper side immediately after the retracement. So that's why this is a buy. You want to trade correctly, as I mentioned some few days ago, look for those pairs that are natural. Assets or symbols. So this is not a pair, this is CFD. Look for those that the trend is clear. If we are upwards, maintain buying. The best way to buy correctly is to wait for price to go below 00. Like in this case, we have this below 0, below 0, and there's also this which happened just recently. You ought to have bought immediately. Then we also looked at this one, look oil, and I mentioned why this is a buy. We have very few retracements. Yeah, we have retracement here, retracement. We are yet to see another retracement just now. So this one also, we are just waiting for price to go below, and then we'll pick a buy from that point. And the last one which I've just mentioned is this one, Gazprom NEF. So the same thing applies, the same reasoning I'm using to come up with this Microsoft, SP500, and Look Oil. It's the same reasoning I'm using to come up with Gazprom. So this is still a buy in my opinion, just that you need to wait for the columns to go below 00, retrace back, then you pick a buy after they've gone back above 00. So thank you very much. That should bring us to the end. I'm sorry today my internet had issues, so somehow interrupted somewhere, but it's okay. I've been able to explain everything I need to explain for today. The 4 assets are clear. We only have 4 which I recommend, and then I've also mentioned why I think they're the best to be buying based on the trend and retracements. So thank you very much. See you again tomorrow.